Welcome to Katie Wonders, a podcast for seeking wonder and inspiration in everything. I'm your host, Katie Dalebout, and on this week's edition, my monthly favorites / gratitudes for October. I've got so much good stuff to share with you guys this week in similar categories to what I shared last month from my monthly faves / gratitudes, things I'm grateful for, things I'm loving, things that just made my month really awesome and just made it better, and things that I want to share with you that I think you'll like too. Number one is a miscellaneous category. It's the Facebook group. I love interacting with fellow listeners or people I'm talking to, I guess, in the Facebook crew on Facebook, obviously. So if you haven't joined that yet, the link to that will be in the show notes. And for the podcast that I'm loving this month, I have two. So the first one is my friend Jess Mernan, who you guys know from the podcast. She was on a couple episodes ago. I'll put that episode in the show notes. And I was even on her podcast a while back, but she's doing this new thing called Things That Freaked My Week. And she invites on another guest on her show to basically give their monthly favorites in random categories. So it's fascinating and I really love it. And she's still doing her long form interviews as well. And she had Jeff Garland, the comedian, on, and it was fantastic. And she's just such a cool person. I can't wait to have her back on this podcast for a Katie Wonders episode. And maybe we'll do a Things That Freaked Her Week on an episode of my podcast, which would be super cool. So that's one of them. And then the other one that I'm listening to that I loved is a brand new podcast. There's only 2 episodes up, but it's Girl Boss Radio. So you guessed it. It's by Sophia Amoruso, who wrote the book Girl Boss, or #GirlBoss. And she is the founder of Nasty Gal. The clothing line used to be Nasty Gal Vintage on eBay. She started it herself. She is total girl boss, totally amazing person, and just the first 2 episodes were amazing. She had on Charlize Theron, yes, that Charlize Theron, that actress who's amazingly beautiful and smart and really cool and a mom. Anyways, I loved the interview. I learned so much about her. And then this week she had on Grace Helbig, who I also love. She's a famous YouTuber, and I actually just got her book, so I'm excited to read that. And if I like it, you may hear more about that next month in my monthly favorites. So anyways, check out those 2 podcasts. That should keep you busy in between episodes of my podcast. So now moving on to the next category, which is person. The person that I'm really into this month is Tavi Gevinson. I teased that she was going to be the person of last month, but I ended up talking about Pete Holmes for too long, so I just made him the person, who I also love. But Tavi is so cool. She's super young still. She's like 18, 19, but she got really famous when she was 13 years old doing her fashion blog, which was amazing. And obviously she really was successful with that. She sat in the front row of Fashion Week with Anna Wintour and was friends with the Rodarte sisters, and just it really grew and grew and grew. And then she realized, she wanted to talk about more things than just fashion, much like my blog has. I'm no Tavi Gevinson, but much like my blog has grown and expanded as I've grown and expanded as a person, because I think when we're young, we do that very quickly. And that was the case for her. She realized that she wasn't just inspired by fashion. She was inspired by what inspired the fashion.
The thing I always liked about fashion was that it was very connected to everything else, and when I really loved a collection, I would look up the movie or song or whatever inspired it, and from that was just opened up to like a whole world of what eventually became my very favorite things.
Tavi would get into the things that inspired the actual clothes, and then she wanted to talk about all sorts of things like feminism and culture and everything, really. So she started a site for teenage girls called Rookie Magazine.
First said on my blog that I wanted to start Rookie, I asked people to send in their writing, photography, illustration, and got about 3,000 emails. And then a woman who had been reading my blog and bought my zine that I made like 5 copies of when I was like 12, emailed me, and she was like, I work at the New York Times, but I'll quit my job to help you. And she did, and she helped me go through the 3,000 submissions.
And there are 4 rookie yearbooks. Rookie yearbook 4 just came out, and she's on tour promoting it, which I wish I could go and meet her with all the other teenage girls. But anyways, she's a boss. I just love her. She has a girl squad better than Taylor Swift. She's friends with like so many cool people like Willow Smith, and she's friends with Taylor Swift. Actually, she recently interviewed Taylor Swift for Elle magazine a couple months ago, and it was fantastic. She's also an amazing actress. She was in a movie with James Gandolfini and Julia Louis-Dreyfus a couple years ago, and she's also been an actress on Broadway. She starred along Michael Cera in the play This Is Our Youth this past year. She's awesome. She's the editor-in-chief of Rookie Magazine, like I said, and she's just really famous on the internet and in general, so you should totally check her out. And yeah, Rookie Magazine is for teenage girls, but I tend to say this all the time. I think our 20s, and I'm not in my 30s yet, but probably our 30s, I think for sure our 20s, or at least the case for me, is that it's really a second adolescence, and the one that nobody really tells you about. So I really relate to a lot of the concepts in Rookie Magazine. And Tavi says that when you're a teenager, you feel everything really intensely. All your emotions are really intense, kind of like a cartoon character. Because for a couple of reasons. One, you're experiencing them all for the first time. So, you know, like when a baby gets the hiccups for the first time, it's like scared because it's like, what is happening to me? You know, but it's just the hiccups, you know, it's fine. You're just kind of burpy. But the next reason why it's so intense for you when you're a teenager is like for the hormones, and, you know, everything's really intense. But I think that is still the case in your 20s. You know, you might not be going through heartbreak or confusion or, you know, weird family stuff or whatever for the first time, but it's the first time of that situation, and we're changing so quickly that it feels just as intense as the first time. So anyways, I'm really into Tavi and everything she's doing in Rookie Magazine, and it just recently got redesigned and it's beautiful. So yeah, check it out. Send it to your cool teenage girl friends if you have them, or family members. And if you're like me, just read it yourself because I think it's super awesome. I have been loving, this is like embarrassing to say because everybody and their brother is reading The Magical Art of Tidying Up, The Life-Changing Art of Tidying Up. I don't know, Marie Kondo's new book. I have it right here because I was literally just reading it, and then I was like, oh, I'll record the podcast right now. So it is officially called The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. I was close. Anyways, I'm sure you've heard of it. I resisted it forever. I was like, you know, I've feng shuied, I've saged, I'm good. I don't need to tidy up, you know, I'm good. I don't need to declutter, but I do, and I did. And this book, like, it reads kind of like, you know, when I used to read like diet books, you know, when you like first open it up and you're like, this is going to change my life. I just have to follow this to a T. Like, that's my OCD nature is really attaching to this, which I don't know is like such a good thing, and maybe I shouldn't be sharing that. But anyways, I'm really into it. I'm really excited about it. They say to do it quickly, like within 6 months at the longest, and I'm going to try to do it in like a weekend. So I'll report back next month and tell you how it goes, but I'm really excited about it. You start with your closet first, and the main jux of it, I think, is looking at an item, every single item in your home, and saying, does this spark joy? And if it does, keep it. And if it doesn't, in that moment, spark joy, get rid of it. And not store it away, but literally get rid of it. And then you should find a spot for every single item in your house. So then you only have to do this actual tidying once, and everything else stays in that spot. So it's a really life-changing art. So anyways, I'm going to try it, and I'll report back. What books are you liking this month? Let me know. I need suggestions. Okay, so food. I am really into this particular superfood. It's a miso that I've shared about a ton on Snapchat and probably on Instagram, probably in a bunch of different places, but you can get it at Thrive Market. That's the only place you can get it. It's not even on Amazon. The brand is Shaman Shack, and it's called Sea Clear. And it's going to sound super weird, but what it is it's this superfood miso. So it has in it turmeric, which is really anti-inflammatory. It has in spirulina and chlorella and cayenne, so it's a little bit spicy, and dulse and a bunch of other sea vegetables. And it's a probiotic miso, so you can mix it with like hot water, and it's really awesome to just have as kind of like a nice broth, and it's warming and it's really good for your tummy. And obviously the probiotics are great for your gut health, and I love the taste. It's a little bit spicy. Sometimes I like dip carrot sticks in it. I can't get enough of this stuff, you guys. I put it in salads. I'm obsessed with it. I share about it on Snapchat literally every day, but I highly suggest you check it out and just try it. It's really not only healthy for you, but it's probably an acquired taste, but I really like it. So that's the food item that I've really been loving. And honestly, I haven't been cooking much because I'll give a shout out to my friend Laura, who is amazing. She has this amazing local business. If you're local, you should totally check her out. It's called Harvest Meals, and she does this vegan, gluten-free, plant-based, amazingly delicious food delivery service where she makes so much food with love and delivers it right to my door with exactly what each thing is, all the ingredients and what it is, and if I should warm it up or not warm it up. And she just pays so much attention to detail, and there's ribbons on things, and so much love in every meal. Like this week I had this buckwheat and mushroom risotto, and I had this macro plate with sea vegetables because she knows I love sea vegetables, but you don't have to get those, and like a butternut squash soup situation, and it was amazing. So if you're local, check her out. I'll put the link in the show notes. So that's what I've been loving food related this month. And of course, everything pumpkin and squash and sweet potato related, and apples and apple cider, anything fall is just fantastic. Next thing I want to chat with you about is music. Last month I shared some music that I love, that I was really loving of the moment, and today I'm going to share music that I do love right now, but it's music that I've loved forever, and it's just kind of my favorite artist, which some of you might know this because I've talked about this a lot and I just listen to this music a lot if you follow me on Spotify. But I'm a huge Jose Gonzalez fan and / Junip, his band, and I just listen to all their music, all their new music. I have it on vinyl, and I just love listening to the music. It's your life, it's your call. Stand up and enjoy your fall. It's your life, it's your call. Stand up and enjoy your fall. And I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I have different bands that I listen to in different seasons, and a lot of that comes to when the first time I listened to the music, when it first came out, what season it was, and then the next year, the next couple of years, I'll get nostalgic for that album or that music again, and I'll like re-listen to it in that season. So for whatever reason, fall is like my Junip and Jose Gonzalez kick. Like I always crave it, and I always listen to it in the fall, and I don't know why. I think maybe when I first discovered him in high school, that it was the fall. Like somebody put it on a mixed CD for me in the fall of one of the years. I don't even remember, but I'm thinking that that's probably the culprit of that and why this phenomenon happens to me. And I always listen to a lot of Jose Gonzalez and Junip in the fall. So that's what I'm listening to again right now. And yeah, I there's a lot of new music that I'm listening to, or new for me, that I've just discovered. The band Daughter is really great. It's not new, but just I've been listening to that a lot as well. Yeah, so I don't know. I just thought I would share these things that I really love that aren't necessarily new. And I'm going to do the same in the category of movie. And that's mostly because I don't really have a good TV show. Last month I shared a TV show I was really digging. And this month I don't really have one, although I did complete the seasons on HBO of Doll and M. It's a really fun show. It's about a famous actress and her best friend who has a bad breakup and comes to live with her and be her personal assistant, and it kind of becomes a mess. And it's about females, it's a really girl power show. And yeah, I liked it a lot. But anyways, I need another good show to watch, so let me know if you have one. And in the meantime, like I said 2 minutes ago when I got really sidetracked, is this month I'm going to share movies that I love and that are like my favorite movies of all time. So my favorite movie probably of all time right now is this movie called Happy Thank You More Please. And I'll say it slower, but it's actually written in one word. So Happy Thank You More Please. And it is a fantastic movie. I love it so much. And Kate Mara is in it, and Zoe Kazan, and it's really fantastic. I really like him as a person. I like the concept of this movie. There's this monologue. You'll know, just watch it, and then we can all talk about the monologue for this movie another time. But it's really, really great. It happens in it's really great. Just watch the movie. Actually, I'll play a tiny bit of that clip right here, but still watch the movie, promise.
About a year ago, I was in this cab, and the cab driver, this Indian guy, started telling me all sorts of stuff. He was just looking at me in the rearview mirror, and he said, bliss is your birthright. And I was like, 45th and Madison? And he said, you have great potential in this lifetime. The key to your life is gratitude. You do not give enough thanks. And I said, well, how do I do that? And he said, simple. Say thank you. And I said, well, when? And he said, all the time, right now. And he said, after I say thank you, I should say, more please.
Wait, thank you more please?
Yeah. That with gratitude, the universe is eternally abundant. So I've been giving gratitude a shot. Thank you more please. Thank you more please. Thank you more please. How crazy am I sounding here?
Oh, no.
How great is that clip, guys? I mean, you definitely need to watch the whole movie, but you can get a sense of how inspiring it is, and that's one of my favorite parts. So watch the movie and tell me what you think. His other movie that he's written and directs and stars in is called Liberal Arts, and that stars Elizabeth Olsen, and it is also a really, really great movie, up there with Happy Thank You More Please in my favorites. But I still think, for me, I love Happy Thank You More Please just slightly more. But Liberal Arts was great, and I really like Josh Radnor as an artist and a director and a writer. And he was actually the guest on the Pete Holmes podcast, and it was a great conversation, the two of them. He seems like a really, really nice dude, cool person, and he has this great lecture about fame and vulnerability that I will post in the show notes as well. Well, that's all I got for you guys this month. I hope that you find this stuff interesting, maybe inspiring, maybe some stuff you want to check out or explore. And the best way to let me know what you think about this type of an episode and the stuff that you might explore that I share is to join the Facebook crew. The link to that is also in the show notes. And then that way we can not only talk about this stuff that I shared in this episode and past episodes and also the interviews, but also I would love to hear from you guys and what kind of music and movies and TV shows and books that you're really into, because I can always use suggestions, especially from really cool people. You guys are the smartest, coolest people ever, and I'm so grateful that I get to talk to you guys in your headphones or on your speaker phone. You guys are really cool, and I'm just really glad and grateful that you're my friends. So thank you so much. It's really late as I'm recording this, so I'm going to go to sleep, but I will talk to you guys really soon. The track you're hearing behind me now is by a guy named Kanye West. Have you heard of him? And the song is called I Wonder.
If you know what